What makes a great gaming laptop? Hey guys, I'm Sasha from Asus ROG, and I think by now you already got an idea of what I'm getting at here. I'm of course talking about our brand new ROG Zephyrus Duo 15. First thing you'll notice is that it has a very classy and stylish design. Just like our other new Zephyrus models, it's a very understated and simplistic design, very calm, very professional looking. The ROG Zephyrus Duo is an impressive gaming laptop all by itself, just looking at the specs. But what really makes it stand out is the Screenpad Plus. We added a second display that's essentially half the height of a 15-inch display above the keyboard. So you get 50% extra screen space. And as you can see, as you open the lid of the laptop and close it, the Screenpad Plus automatically folds open and lifts up and then folds down again. So the reason why we did this is twofold. First, it's more ergonomic this way. And second of all, you might be familiar with our AAS, Active Aerodynamic System. We've been doing this on our Zephyrus laptops since the beginning. Now, we literally flipped it upside down and we're opening the panel on top, the second screen, the Screenpad Plus. So now we can stream a lot of fresh air under the panel to cool all the components. Thanks to all the added airflow coming in from the sides and streaming under the Screenpad Plus into the laptop itself, we're able to reduce temperatures and get extra performance and also reduce the fan noise. All right, let's talk about all the cool stuff you can do with the Screenpad Plus. Of course, we optimized Armory Crate, our system app, for the Screenpad Plus to make really good use of the space. We optimized it so you can use it on the whole screen, half of it, or just 1/3. You can move it around on the Screenpad Plus and dock it to the left or to the right. And we optimized it for touch. Next up, we got Screen Expert, which allows you to dock different apps to different part on the main screen or the Screenpad Plus. And it remembers where you dock those apps and then can restore those profiles for different app combinations depending on whatever you picked. Very useful for content creators. You can use the full screen entirely for what you really want to focus on and move all those sliders and dials and buttons and details to the second screen on the Screenpad Plus. We also have a partnership with Overwolf, which is a really cool app that has a lot of plugins for popular games. So there's a plugin for example, CSGO, Dota 2, and Rainbow Six Siege. And the latest one that just came out is for Valorant. So you can basically use the main screen just to play the game and have all in-game stats tracked on the Screenpad Plus. Very convenient. We also have a partnership with Techland, which is working on Dying Light 2. And for those of you who paid attention, you maybe noticed some few hints about this. So yes, we are bundling Dying Light 2 with every Zephyrus Duo, and we work closely together with them that it's integrated and uses the Screenpad Plus while you're playing the game. If you want to know more about the Screenpad Plus and our Screen Expert app, we put a link in the description with some tutorials that go into all the details we didn't have time to dive into today. All right, so let's look at those impressive specs. I don't want to discuss everything, so we put a link in the description to the product page, and there you can see absolutely everything. Let's go through the main specs now. CPU-wise, you got an option between either a Core i7 8-core or a Core i9 HK. That's the factory unlocked and overclocked version of the Core i9. And thanks to Thermal Grizzly Liquid Metal, which we use on all our Intel 10th Gen ROG gaming laptops, we can really push this to the limit. And GPU-wise, you get to choose between either a 2080 Supermax Q or a 2070 Supermax Q, both of which, of course, support ray tracing and DLSS 2.0 and support dynamic boost. Dynamic boost allows the GPU to automatically adjust its power consumption and performance based on how much power is used by the CPU. So whenever the CPU is not running at its full capacity because it's not needed, the GPU can run at increased capacity, giving you extra performance. And panel-wise, you get to choose between either a 4K 100% Adobe RGB panel or a full HD 300 Hz panel with only 3 milliseconds response time, both of which support G-Sync and are Pantone validated and factory calibrated, each panel individually when they come off the assembly line. Both of these options also come with GPU switch, which is our own proprietary solution to enable you to have either G-Sync or to switch to Optimus mode, where the NVIDIA GPU can go to sleep mode and get powered off entirely if you don't need it. This boosts the battery life significantly. And speaking of the battery, we have a 90 watt-hour battery in the Zephyrus Duo, which gives you really long battery life. All of this and more comes packed into surprisingly slim, lightweight, and rigid magnesium aluminum alloy chassis. So it's only 20 millimeters thin and only weighs 2.4 kilos. And SSD-wise, we got two M.2 slots, so you can actually pair two 1 terabyte SSDs together and run them in RAID 0. I/O port-wise, let's start in the back. So there's some I/O in the rear, which I'm a big fan of myself. You got your HDMI 2.0 port, you got a 1 gigabit LAN port, and you have a USB-A 3.2 Gen 2, so 10 gigabits per second port in the back as well. Really convenient to plug in all this stuff to have the cables out of the way. And on the left side, we got the power jack and two audio ports. So there's one dedicated headphone jack and of course a regular headset or combo port as well. And on the right side, we got two more USB-A ports, 3.2 Gen 1 this time, so 5 gigabits per second, plus a Type-C port. And that Type-C port has Thunderbolt 3, and it also supports PD and DP. So it supports Type-C charging, PD, power delivery, and it supports DP, DisplayPort, version 1.2, which means you can connect external monitors such as a TV or a G-Sync or FreeSync gaming monitor. Wi-Fi wise, we have 2x2 Wi-Fi 6, so that is Wi-Fi 802.11ax, the latest and fastest Wi-Fi available. Hidden in the bezel under the main display are two small holes that house our array microphone setup. So there's two microphones spaced out a little bit so they can detect where noise comes from, and as a result, we're able to remove background noise. Speaker-wise, we got two powerful 4-watt speakers with smart amps that deliver really clear and crisp and loud audio, so it sounds really impressive. It sounds really nice for a pretty slim gaming laptop. And on top of that, the audio jacks that I mentioned have an ESS Sabre audio deck, so headset audio is really top grade as well. We wanted to make the Screenpad Plus as big as possible. So to do that, we pulled the keyboard all the way to the front, which makes it very ergonomic to type on. But that also meant we moved the touchpad to the right side. And on the top of this touchpad, we have our built-in number pad. So just holding the top left corner for around a second turns on a built-in number pad that lets you type in numbers right away on the fly. The Zephyrus Duo wouldn't be a gaming laptop without an RGB keyboard, so we got you covered, don't worry. We have a per key RGB keyboard with N key rollover, so any key combination works no matter how many keys you press at the same time. With the 300 Hz panel, you're looking at Wi-Fi browsing battery life of around 6 hours with the Screenpad Plus turned on. When you turn the Screenpad Plus off, you get around 10 hours. For the 4K panel, you get Wi-Fi browsing battery life of around 5 hours with the Screenpad Plus turned on and around 8 hours with the Screenpad Plus turned off. Next up, let's look at the performance numbers. So these are for the top spec SKU. This is with a Core i9 HK and 2080 Super Max SKU. All right, first up, let's look at the Cinebench R15 numbers. Here we can see in single core, we're getting around 225, and in multi-core, almost 2000. Next up, Cinebench R20, the newer version of the Cinema 4D benchmark. We're seeing 525 in single core and over 4300 in multi-core. Next up, let's look at graphics. And here in 3D Mark Firestrike, we see a score of around 20K and a graphics subscore of 24K. Essentially, thanks to DLSS 2.0, you can now play games with ray tracing, maxed out, amazing graphics, and still get really high FPS. Let's see how well those two SSDs in RAID 0 are doing. In Crystal Disk Mark, we get a sequential read speed of over 3500 and a sequential write speed of over 3300. This is the most important number to look at if you are copying large files from one place on your system to another. The random 4 kilobyte read and write speeds are essential in knowing how snappy and responsive your system is going to act. So let's have a look at these. Read speeds are at 50 megabits per second and write speeds at 125, which is a really good number. Let's look at some game benchmark results. So Far Cry 5, with everything set to ultra, we get 120 FPS average. Monster Hunter World, highest settings, we're getting over 100 FPS average. Witcher 3 at Ultra, we're getting almost 100 FPS average. And in Overwatch with epic settings, everything maxed out, we're getting over 225 FPS. Alright, that's it with the numbers. We don't want to steal the thunder of all the reviewers that have been busy testing the Zephyrus Duo. So if you do want to know more, head over and check out the reviews that should be out right now. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of our latest flagship, the ROG Zephyrus Duo, and have a good understanding of what it's all about, and are excited to try it and see all the cool things you can do with this Screenpad Plus. The Zephyrus Duo is out right now, and if you want to know more, we put a link to the product page in the description, and just have a look on YouTube. There should be a couple of videos popping up left and right about now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe for similar content. There's some really cool videos on our channel. Check out the Masters Talk videos. I personally really like those. Yep, stay subscribed for more updates on our latest products.